is going to be a study, a piece of chess art created by Mark Liburkin, Russian guy, born in 1910, died 1953, very young, at the age of 43. And it's a supreme, it's a study of supreme elegance, so to speak. And you see why, and you see how much subtlety you have on a board with just few pieces here. So first, we need to figure out what's going on the board right now, and we may use those contacts because that's the basic alphabet of chess. That's what helps us decode the situation and see what's going on. So first, intuitively, what do you think? Which side would you like to be on? White or black?
Black.
Black.
Black seems to be like a winning side here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, makes them too nice.
Especially here, you see this guy's under attack. That's the only contact we can see, right? Direct contact, direct attack. And guy cannot get out, right? Cannot escape because all squares are covered by the rook. So this is an attack, this is a restriction, right? Knight with these four squares, that's a restriction. So it looks that this guy is dying. So with a knight less, it looks that white has no chances.
Who's blue? Who's blue?
White. Usually, every study, it's a white unless it's stated differently. But believe it or not, it's a draw, even though white is losing a knight. At first expression, it looks like the white pieces are uncoordinated, right? They don't have that cohesion, that unity, you know, it's like a spread all around the board. This guy's under attack, and it looks he's gonna go. King is cut off. This guy is very dangerous, right? So if this guy make it to queen, it's over, and white king cannot get close to that pawn because it's cut off by the black rook. This guy is also doing nothing. It looks far away. So what we're gonna see is that very soon white will re-establish sort of a cooperation between white king and one of white horses, while black will end up with pieces totally discoordinated. That's a huge, that's a biggie in chess and anything. It's a team play. How team players coordinate their action, how they work together. That's important. And here we see how white king and one knight will hold the black army. So here's the first move. Here's the first move by white. See the contact? Mm-hmm. Attack, right? So it's pretty forcing a move. So what black can do is go here and attack the knight, and this knight is under attack, so that's a double attack, right? Double attack is one type of that piece coordination, a piece cooperation. Two black pieces attacking two knights. So one knight should go. Which one we should stay with? Which knight can do more a good thing for the white.
I keep the one on E3.
Hmm?
Keep the one on E3.
Actually, the question is which knight can be better employed for fighting that pawn and its advance.
Knight to C5,
Yeah.
because then it will be a draw. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So here's the move. White forcing black to take that E3 knight, basically. He decides to keep this guy. So again attack, if it doesn't take, this guy gets out because after moving here, knight now has escape squares, right? So it takes the knight. So white is with a knight, just one knight now, and still drawing the game. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what's the idea? Basically, white forced the black rook to go onto e5, and now its mobility is kind of, just these 4 squares on e5. Back here, it was all the board pretty much. Now, after this move, because knight was under attack, knight is attacking the pawn, and rook is defending the pawn. So that's a sort of tension, right? You see, knight could go here because rook lost control of d file and is now on e file, tied down to protecting that pawn. So now what black can do? And this guy is in the corner. If black king could go into the game and help rook and pawn, that is going to be over. But black king will never manage to get out of the corner. White knight and white king succeeding in holding the entire black army. Let's see how. So what black can do, he checks. If he checks, king can simply attack and harass that rook. It must stay on e file, otherwise this guy is lost. If it's lost, then rook against knight can't do anything, right? That's a draw. So let's say rook may go here, right? King attacks again. So it looks if the rook goes any of these 4, king attacks it. And black can't do anything, cannot make any progress. If it goes here, nice, it's not within reach of the white king. And what is the threat on top of everything? What's the threat by black in this position? Double attack, right? So king retreats here, gets out of danger, and again black can't make any progress. If rook goes, same thing, king would start attacking it. King cannot get out. You see why? Because knight is restricting the king. Directly, b7 is under attack.
Why couldn't you walk with black swords?
If it goes here or here, there is a double attack. And that's what's keeping black to a...
Couldn't you have gone to those black? I mean, obviously not, but I don't see why you couldn't have gone to the black swords or before the rook was right next to the pawn.
Yes, and let's see, so e3, this was the position, right?
Yeah.
So
chasing the rook around.
the same thing would happen. They say, if you go here, we start attacking, right?
Well.
And if it
okay.
goes here, we attack, right?
Yes.
If it goes anywhere, E1, E2, E3,
How about
E4, same thing. If it goes here, then again, double attack.
I guess I have to play it over.
Right.
Because if you kept it on white, if you walked them up to the 5 rank, and then you snuck back to the first rank, couldn't the black king then walk the black squares and get over there somehow?
So what do you
All right,
suggest?
so is that how it is? So he goes up to the 5. Is it rank or row or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
With the
So
rook.
5?
Yeah.
So here?
Yeah. Oh, well, not yet.
Or, yeah, I know what you mean. Let's say I attack here,
And then he
you
keeps,
go
he
here.
keeps walking him up, yeah.
I attack here, you go here,
And
and
then
I...
he strips down 1.
Right, and then let's say check here. Is that
Yeah.
the idea?
Something
You
like
go here,
that. Okay.
and again you attack the rook, and if it doesn't get back, pawn is lost.
But what
So
happened if he scooted down with the rook all the way down to the first row? And he got out of the arm?
You mean here?
No, when he was still on 8.
Here,
Yeah.
so if it goes to the first,
Oh.
you start attacking again. So king is like a well equipped to fight against rook at close range. So that's why in rook endgames, you want your rook to be as far as you can from the king, so you can check it. So again, these 4 squares, king can attack the rook. If it goes here, threatening that double attack, you just retreat a little and waiting for black, who really cannot do anything. You know, this guy cannot get out because of the fork. And if this guy moves, we start attacking it again. So we see how the king and knight cooperate very efficiently. It's a tactical cooperation, right? It's tactical. The double attack thing, the fork. So let's say in this position, after this, if black pushes the pawn, then we go here attacking pawn again, and now the same thing, you know, the rook is even less, more restricted, right? It's only 4 squares where king can attack it and can't do anything. It's tied down again to protecting the pawn and can't do anything. If king gets in, we attack the rook, right? We just attack it. We can't do anything. It's a great study. I mean, it's all about restriction. You see how white restricted king and rook, so they could do anything. So they restricted and this coordinated, right? While these two tactically succeed in keeping black army. I don't know what impression it made on. It's made on you. Just few pieces, and it's
It's a draw because I realize that it's just going to go on and on and on.
right. You can't. Black cannot make
Now,
any progress.
If this happened in our tournament, what would happen? Would they call over? Would the tournament director come over, or would you come over?
You
How
see,
would that-
sometimes it's easy. Sometimes we know that certain situations are dead draw, but sometimes you really cannot tell without too much examination. It's a study like positions. You
Right.
can't tell. Like in this position, you say, "Oh, black is winning," while it's really that it's a draw. So,
But if they had
but
gone
those-
like your 6 or 8 moves, to the point you just took us, we realized they're going to go. This thing could go on forever.
Right.
So what would happen? Would the players,
That would be a draw. They just agree.
the two players agree?
Right. And if
What if one player says, well, this is gonna end up a draw, the other one says no?
then TD must step
TD
in.
comes in and looks at it.
Yeah, and,
I got
and
you.
make a decision. But sometimes it's clear cut. Sometimes it's not like let's say they're just moving around. There is a 50 moves rule, right? If 50 moves have been made and no piece taken over that sequence of 50 moves, there should be a draw or
Wow, 50 votes.
so. But
Oh,
so that was studied by Liburkin guy. And okay, it wasn't 2 hours this time.
No.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So I put it on our